See, this your problem right here. The sterner things hikers encountered than it was. Like, why you even? You shouldn't even be out there in the first place. Probably done came across a dead body or something like that. See what they talking about. I ain't got to Mr. Nightmare in a little minute though. I gotta go. Feel me? I gotta get back on his fizz. Let's see what they talking about though.
In 2014, a man named Ethan and his wife Danny were spending a weekend together on Vancouver Island, which they had
Danny.
been many times before. The couple has a lot of
Vancouver?
experience on the island and just camping in general. Vancouver Island provides an optimal camping setting because of its mix of scenic beaches and dense forest. The couple had many successful camping trips on the island until something
Except for
truly
this one
terrifying
time.
happened to them on their final outing on the islands. Ethan and Danny were far from any roads or civilization, enjoying the solitude. They set up camp on a beach a good distance from anywhere and kept a fire going.
Hell
To
no.
get to the trail leaving the beach was a kilometer along the beach and 2 kilometers to the road through the forest. The couple had met another camper named Leon from New Zealand, who they ran into earlier that day on the beach. Leon was planning on sleeping in his van, which he parked back up on the road. The couple invited him down to the beach for a fire, and the three shared a bottle of wine, talking amongst themselves around the fire. This is where things started to get a little creepy.
What happened?
The sun was starting to go down by this point, and the trio kept
See, I
hearing.
can't do this shit. I can't, bro. I'll be too paranoid. In the bro, it be pitch black out there. All you got is a fire. You in the middle of the woods, bro. Dolo. In a tent. Any little noise, I'm what, bro? Talking about pitch black. Crazy.
It
Crazy.
sounded like female voices from behind them in the bushes, dividing the beach from the forest. It wasn't too dark out yet, though, so it was still possible that they were just other hikers or
They talking about female voices in the back, talking about possibly other hikers.
campers nearby, or even a group who anchored offshore and the sound was just bouncing in a weird way.
Yeah, alright.
All three of them could agree that they were hearing female voices, though. On that note, it was getting late and a little dark, so Leon said goodbye and set out to hike back to his car before it was too dark. Ethan and Danny stayed by their campsite and stoked the fire because Danny was starting to get creeped out by the voices.
So
They
leave,
continued
bro.
on into the darkness.
Leave.
It
Why is you
sounded
still
like
there?
two female voices speaking, but whatever that was being said was unintelligible. It sounded to the couple like the voices were not far beyond the tree line now. They stayed up very late tending to the fire, and only when the voices had finally stopped, they decided to put out the fire and go to sleep in the tent.
You crazy? Y'all crazy as hell. What? You telling me y'all in the middle of the woods? What they said, Vancouver? Y'all in the middle of the woods, nighttime, dark. Y'all in the tents, in the middle of nowhere. Y'all hear voices. Y'all hear two female voices talking about it don't sound like it's far from y'all. As soon as it stopped, y'all decide to go to sleep. Y'all still there? Why is y'all like what? What it take for y'all to? How many signs y'all need?
Before doing so, the two had scanned the cove with a flashlight several times looking for boats that could have been the source of the talking, but there was nothing in sight. It was around 3 a.m. when they laid down finally, ready to catch some shut eye.
Yeah, all right.
But about 15 minutes after they laid down, Ethan and Danny heard footsteps in the area around their campsite, over by where
Hell
the
no.
fire was. They came from the direction of the bushes toward the inland behind them, a direction that was not traversable by people. The couple lay there, hoping it was just a bear or any animal, because the only bears on the island are black bears, which usually are very timid around people. The footsteps went from the fire, then over to the tent, then back into the woods. 5 minutes later, the footsteps came back again to the fire. Now, clear as day, there were two female voices talking gibberish very loudly. Their communication was not resembling any languages known to Ethan or Danny, and they seemed to be talking over each other, having what could barely be considered to be a conversation at full volume in the dead of night very far away from civilization, without using lights to navigate through the dense brush relatively quietly in a direction that seemed impossible to traverse on foot. The two voices moved from the fire pit area over to the tent, still talking at a loud volume. They stood over the tent talking for a few seconds, then went completely dead as night silent. They went back into the woods to never be seen or heard again. Ethan and Danny lay there completely frozen and afraid for a long time. They woke up around 11 a.m. the next day because of how late they fell asleep. They packed up first thing and never returned.
Y'all better get up out of there. I thought they was about to talk about they just stayed there, came back another night.
Probably made the best decision to remain quiet in the tent, not drawing attention to themselves from whoever or whatever was outside the tent.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon, and you should too.
I
Don't
mean,
spend another dime on Amazon until you want.
you never know though, honestly, because it's like 9 times I was a human. 9 times out of 10, if it's a tent in the fire, they obviously know y'all in there. They could have did something if they wanted to. Let's be honest. Whether they was quiet or not, it's a tent, bro. Y'all got a fire. Y'all obviously inside of there. It's not rocket science. Probably was an animal though, but never know. Utah?
The following pictures you're about to
Oh
see
yeah, Utah. Yeah, you already know. Middle of nowhere.
were by hikers Kylie Cashwell and John Stone, who both live in Eagle Mountain, Utah, a small town south of Salt Lake City.
Gravedigger Mountain.
For the past few years, they have been exploring forests in search of interesting things. One day they found it. One day Kylie was hiking in Cedar Fort, just 5 miles south of Salt Lake City. While hiking, she found large amounts of animal bones and piles of junk people had dumped. But things started to get strange when she started coming across strange symbols and animal parts scattered throughout the forest, some of them in weird formations. On September
Get up
15th,
out of there. You
she
don't know.
decided to bring her friend Josh along with her to show him in person the unusual things she was finding. This time, the two came across something even more disturbing. On the trail, there was a severed deer head and a pentagram surrounded by deer legs. They were not there the first time Kylie walked.
There's somebody out there. You don't know. People will be doing ritual. You don't know who out there, what they doing. It's like she talking about she went back there and brought somebody else. Somebody obviously out there. That wasn't there the week before, right?
Trail. The sun was going down, and after getting their pictures, they agreed it was time to head back to the car. The more they walked, they realized they didn't recognize the path they were on. So the two start looking around for anything that could refresh their memory of where they were.
Oh, you tripping?
But as it got dark out, the two accepted that they were lost.
Oh my God. Y'all done got love. Y'all gotta be. You gotta be more smart. You know you don't know your way around. Why is you leaving at night? You shouldn't even be there in the first place. Soon as you see the sun start going, all right, yeah, let's go. Like y'all be doing this to yourself.
Nothing but their phone flashlights to navigate.
Phone flashlights
They started
horrible.
feeling they were being watched. As they picked up their pace, the two started to hear the trees and bushes moving at least 20 feet to their right, more concerning by the fact that there was no wind that night. The two started to panic and hurried onto a trail they found, hoping it would take them back to Kylie's car. Just when things couldn't seem to get any worse, Kylie and Josh heard a scream so deep and horrific that it sounded neither human nor animal.
Yeah,
The two sprinted down the
hell, what? I'm up out of there. What? I don't know what that is right there. But they said they don't know the trail. Y'all better just start. I don't know. Y'all better just start running on something.
Kylie making a conscious effort not to look back, but Josh did. And Josh claimed to see a large black figure on the trail behind them, too
Whoa.
big to be a human. The two made it to the car by some stroke of luck, losing whatever was chasing them. So they left the forest and went straight home.
Hey, I got lucky for
On doing
real.
research, Kylie found documents of common cult practices reported in those woods,
Exactly what I'm talking about.
as well as numerous murders and disappearances that happened in the area throughout the years. Like Ethan and Danny in the first story, Kylie has not returned since.
Y'all should have got lucky. Y'all got up out of there. I've
Up in
been
the
in.
woods in northern Germany, two friends were hiking in an area formerly territory of the German Democratic Republic when they came across these strange periscope-like pipes protruding from the ground. Feeling either brave or foolish, they decided to investigate further. They discovered a
Investigate.
doorway hidden behind several bushes, covered by a large wooden lid. What they found hidden beneath the ground was a pretty disturbing piece of history.
It's hidden for a reason,
The
no?
doorway led to a huge abandoned army bunker. There were several tunnels leading off in different directions, which intersected a long central corridor. There were so many different directions to go that exploring the place felt like going through a maze to the two friends. They tried not to stray far away from each other in fear of getting lost. That's how big the place was. As they ventured deeper into the structure, they came across German writing on the wall, which translated to help. Curiosity still got the better of them, and they continued deeper into the bunker. And as
Help. It,
Nickelodeon was kidding everything, but that marked one of the darkest chapters. These are three predators.
man, if y'all don't get up out of there, y'all saw the words "help" on the wall and decided to keep it. What y'all trying to find, bro? What is y'all gonna do? What y'all investigating? Why people be so curious, bro?
As they did, the structure became more and more decayed. More writings were found on the walls, this time reading, "Hello, Satan, I love you."
Whoa.
Some of the rooms and corridors were flooded and smelled like sewage. They made their way into a very large room with a strange machine in the center. It's very possible the previous occupants had fled the bunker in a hurry, as there was a single shoe still stuck in the sludge on the floor. Why wouldn't someone have time to grab one shoe unless they were in a hurry? The structure was believed to be an old military bunker, possibly used for shelter by the Nazis during World War II. But why did the soldiers seemingly leave in such a hurry? Whether they were the ones who had written the warning messages on the walls is unknown.
Duffel bag.
In this last story, for the person's safety, I'll refer to him as just Bill. Bill is an
Oh, this must be a duffel bag full of money or something. He talking about for his safety. He can't even put his name up out there.
hiker who in 2016 was visiting his brother upstate New York near Downsville. Bill's brother owns a small house and a barn up there, and from time to time Bill and other family members would go up to visit. This was in the late fall, so the foliage was already mostly orange, and more than half of the leaves had fallen off the trees. Bill was hiking a narrow trail which was not far from his brother's place. This trail is in the middle of a very rural area.
Nowhere.
It connects from the occasional property to property. So when Bill stumbled across a duffel bag on the ground in the middle of the woods, it was a surprise. The duffel bag looked like it was relatively new. It didn't look dirty as if it had been sitting in the woods for an extended period of time. There was a foul odor emanating from the bag, however,
Oh, hell.
like something rotting inside.
Don't even open it.
Bill assumed the worst, but he knew he had to open the bag.
Don't open it, bro.
It actually could have been a person. He was building up the courage to open the zipper.
Don't open it, bro.
But before he could, he heard footsteps approaching from off the trail, and a voice saying, "That's mine, please don't touch it." A large man in a dirty jacket and jeans was quickly approaching from the woods and grabbed the duffel bag off the ground. The two exchanged looks for a moment. Bill told the man he assumed the bag was forgotten by someone, and the man told him he was storing his kill from his hunt in the bag. Even though Bill isn't a hunter, he knew it's standard to use a cooler for storing fresh kill, not a duffel bag full.
Yeah, what?
This also wouldn't explain the foul smell so soon, as usually dead bodies only start to smell after a few days,
Exactly.
not right after death. So he apologized and continued walking down the trail.
Yeah, he probably got some body parts up in that, up in that bag.
A little more speed in his step.
And you still on the
Likely
chair?
The man noticed Bill's nervousness because he heard the duffel bag get dropped on the floor as he was walking away. But as he looked back, he didn't see the man anymore. Bill nervously continued along the trail.
Bro, get up.
His phone to try to call his brother for an emergency pickup by the road, but he didn't have any reception in the woods.
Why is you?
All he could do was press forward and avoid crossing paths with that man again. But as he continued on, he kept hearing leaves crunching from not far behind him.
He following you, bro.
Anytime he'd look back, the coast seemed clear.
Nah, he following you.
Eventually, his fear that he was being followed became real. He saw that man following him in the distance in a stalkerish manner, hiding behind a tree. Without thinking, Bill started to run as fast as he could down the trail. He knew he was being followed without even looking back, because he could hear the leaves being crushed from not too far behind him. Bill came to an abandoned-looking property with overgrown grass, and having grown too winded to continue running, he attempted entry to the old house through the back door, and was able to get inside. Bill hid under a cot in the first bedroom he found, and he heard the back door open again, followed by heavy footsteps moving in a hurry.
Yeah,
He went from room to room.
he saw
You
you.
could hear the man's heavy breathing from also being out of breath. The man's footsteps came into the bedroom just for a second and left right after. He didn't look under either of the two cots. Bill heard the back door to the house open and slam shut again, but he laid under the cot for another half an hour, not taking any risks. He only got up when he realized it would be dark soon, and he needed to get to a road to call for help. He proceeded to leave the house and run down the dirt trail by the house that was most likely once used as a driveway, which led him to a road. From here, he eventually hitched a ride with a passing car, who gave Bill a lift back to his brother's house, where Bill would call the local police department and report his encounter.
Hey, that dude who gave him a ride. You tripping? I ain't. You can't trust people nowadays like that. Dude on the side of the road asking you for a ride. You don't know what he on. Like, I would have had to leave him.
Given the severity of the case, police would show up to the house to get a more detailed description of the man's face, the location it happened, and other information. Though it was never technically confirmed what was in that duffel bag, the rotting smell would already be clue enough. But the fact that the man so intently chased after Bill shows that he was hiding something that he didn't want any witnesses for, most likely dumping a dead body.
Exactly. 9 times out of 10, that's what it was. That's why you like. You go find like when you go hiking and stuff in the woods, bro. You go find stuff you ain't trying to, or it's gonna be people there. Like, man, come on, bro. You got to think.